A new Hellboy reboot. Again. So Hellboy the Crooked Man's a new Hellboy film. That's right, the universe is gonna let everything happen to Hellboy except let Guillermo del Toro do a third Hellboy. This movie's directed by Brian Taylor, director of such films as Crank, Gamer, and the all-time classic Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Now he's taking on Hellboy. So this takes place in the 1950s. Hellboy and this rookie are transporting this cargo being a big evil spider that can turn into a small evil spider. It escapes, that brings them to this church in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, in which they have to deal with witches, magic, evil. Flyby synopsis, here we go. First of all, when I saw this trailer, I was like, that is gonna be a complete and total trash fire. And sometimes it is. Sometimes it, well, there were moments in here I actually did enjoy, to my surprise. First of all, I did enjoy the general atmosphere and tone in this film. We have creepy atmosphere and tone, a horror film with Hellboy, which I'm not a super Hellboy connoisseur. I've read a couple of the trades, but I was like, this actually does feel like Hellboy. It never loses that feeling of being a comic book adaptation, but when it was going for horror or otherwise creepy October release, kind of felt what they were going for. The music's adding to it, because the musical score is that creepy musical score. It almost feels stock at this point, because I've heard it 100 times. You know what I'm talking about. Creepy things are happening, the music's all... And the character Hellboy is always great. There's something about this demon who definitely feels like he should be fighting for evil, but he's on the side of good. At the very least, he's fighting against evil. Our flawed last best hope. How are those not the coolest characters? To me, Ron Perlman's forever the best live-action Hellboy casting, but I thought this dude did a good job. This movie feels like a smaller scale comic book arc, which I think is cool. It doesn't always need to be world scale shit. Give me the personal story. I mean, it needs to be done well, but I'm down for it. Now, this movie was and definitely feels like it was made on a ham sandwich budget, which is to say, reported budget of $20 million. And there are moments and times when the film looks like it knows when to lean into that. You're dealing with a lot of witch and magic lore, so there are moments of transformations, metamorphosis, in which it just cuts away and cuts back and something is just different. And with all the shoddy-ass CGI peppering cinema, I appreciate when a filmmaker knows when less is more. Not that this movie doesn't have shit CGI. I mean, it's here. Whether it's a big spider, Hellboy's tail, which of course is going to be CGI, but it's the way it lines up with him. It doesn't look attached to him. Looks a little floaty at times. I felt they played the location really smart in terms of how expensive it can get, making your surroundings look period accurate. The movie takes place in the church, in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, and a mine. 100% of the locations in this film are a time capsule. You can say it takes place in 1950 something. It's probably from 1850 something, and will look the same in 2150 something. Credit where credit's due. They were thinking. But yeah, you do feel that budget or lack thereof. It's always really impressive when a movie has a small budget and you can't feel it. Whereas, like I said in my previous video, my review for the 2024 Salem's Lot, that movie felt like straight to DVD. Hellboy the Crooked Man feels like straight to streaming, though it is straight to streaming, so it's not what I mean. I mean straight to YouTube because it's a YouTube fan film. And if it were just a YouTube fan film, it'd probably be pretty awesome. Only thing is, it is an official feature film that you have to pay 20 bucks for on Amazon Prime to watch. So you kind of hold it at a higher standard in which the flaws just stand out more. The movie looks like it was shot on my DSLR that I use to film YouTube videos with, which I mean 28 years later, I guess, is shot on a cell phone. I don't know what it looks like. I haven't seen a frame of it yet. It's not out yet. Point is, there have been movies that have done that. In fact, in 2010, the season finale of season 6 of House made waves because it was shot on a DSLR, a Canon 5D Mark II. That episode of House from 2010 does look more, I guess we'll say, professional than this movie does. This movie essentially feels like two movies. The first half, they're holed up in this church. There's a lot of witch lore, a lot of evil people. They're trying to get into the church, so Hellboy, a few others, a priest, a rookie, Jimmy from Yellowstone. Every time I saw him, I wanted to be like, damn it, Jimmy. They're all trying to fight off the evil coming at him. It's pretty much dollar store Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight without any of the Billy Zane charisma. Then the movie shifts tracks. You, like the characters in here, have crawled into a dank, dark hole of boredom in which you ask yourself, why is this still going? Bummer is, it's the second half of the movie, so that's what it leaves you with. It's still going because it needed to be long enough to justify it being a feature film, which makes the movie feel like it was a pilot episode of a Hellboy series that didn't get picked up, and they were like, well, let's just film 45 extra minutes and make it a movie. Not saying that's what happened, I'm saying that's how it comes across. Granted, it might be comic book accurate the way the story goes down. However, there have been a few comic book trades I've read in which I'm like, this should have ended already. So maybe it's just like that. Some nice personal moments with Hellboy involving Hellboy's mom, sure. Still didn't change the fact I felt like, man, if the first hour of this movie were released on YouTube, it'd kind of be an awesome fan film. Which means I get to implement my newer rating. It's already on streaming. So just watch the first half of this thing, then stop. That's your Halloween party right there. And you might have to babysit the TV or at least set a timer for the first half. Rest assured, when one of your friends is like, what the fuck is this? Why are we in the mine? That's your cue to be like, oh, that's right, here. Let's turn it to something else. All right, so Hellboy the Crooked Man, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or how's your Halloween October Fright Fest horror movie binge going? What are the movies you've been watching? Whatever they are, whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.